Hi, everybody, and welcome to the No Depression Sessions. We're at Folk Alliance International in Kansas City right now, thanks to our friends at AEA Microphones with Ron Artis II. Ron, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Ron, it's been great getting to know you a little bit in the last half hour or so over sound check, and I cannot wait to share your brand new music with our audience. There's 2 new songs being played in this No Depression session. What do you want to do first?
First off, I'm going to share a song called Little Gray Skies. It's a personal song. It's related a lot to my journey with me and my wife. We've got 5 kids coming up on 12 years of marriage. A lot of people know that, but
Congratulations.
Thanks. But a lot of folks don't know. Before our first daughter was born, we lost the pregnancy, and it was one of the hardest things in my life, you know. And going through that chapter, like, I guess you don't realize when you start kind of pushing it down. Not to generalize, but especially guys, we kind of to feel in control of ourselves or in control of our life and emotions, so we kind of push things down and we're not really aware of it. So it was kind of sitting down there for a while until, unfortunately, recently, my brother and his wife, and then 2 other friends and their spouses were going through the same thing, all in the last 3 months. And I was sitting at home and I just started, reprocessing, refeeling all that. And that started leading to me starting to write this song. And my wife, Yulia, contributed a lot to the lyrics as well. And it's just about loving through the gray skies in life and acknowledging the things we're not in control of and appreciating the opportunity to still be here. Little Gray Skies.
Little ray of sun, where are you off crying to? It always seems the darkest just before the break of dawn. We never have the flowers if we don't get a little rain. So try and see the beauty after you get through this pain. In the little gray skies. Thought you'd have a family, one day see their little eyes. But they went back to heaven, now all you feel is hell inside. I've been right where you're standing, I've cried myself to sleep at night. Staring at the darkness, trying to find a little light in the little gray skies. Ooh, in the little gray skies. Can't believe that love found me. Can't believe that love found me. In the little gray skies. In the little gray skies. And the little gray skies.
It's a great song, Ron. Thank you for sharing it with us, and thanks for sharing the story behind it as well.
Thanks.
Do you, in life, other than just going through a situation that's out of your control and trying to, other than just experiencing it, do you do anything mindfully to allow yourself to accept those things in general that happen outside of our control, or is it just by being faced with it that you're forced to do it?
Well, you kind of touched on two important aspects of it for me personally. So I think one of the hardest obstacles that we put before ourselves when a really unfortunate or tough situation arises is the first thing we do is we turn on ourselves. Meaning we'll say things like, this shouldn't be happening, this can't be happening, this isn't happening. The first thing, that step of denial, will actually turn in like our conscious and subconscious minds against each other. Because the fact is, it is happened or has happened. But before we even acknowledge the problem or feeling the problem or looking for a solution or anything, we wrestle ourselves. And that is a really painful thing, because the brain, and as we know, the brain and words are very powerful tools. So kind of turning on ourselves is one of the things that I try to be aware of not to do anymore. If something was terrible, I guess in a very simple term, go outside and my car is towed. I'd be like, oh, wow, that happened. Rough. That's nasty, man. I'm really mad about it. As opposed to me going out and be like, what? That can't be. Like, what's going on? Then first thing I'm doing is I'm arguing with myself before I even figure out who towed it. Where is it? I need to get it. Yeah. So, in simple terms, those are some practices I've tried to do. Preemptive things are to prepare myself for tough situations that I see could happen. I meditate. And I know I've heard meditate a lot, and from everyone it means different things. For me, I primarily meditate on things I'm afraid of. And when I say that, there's something that I'm afraid of happening or materializing in my life, I will meditate on what that is. I will meditate on the feeling as if it has happened. There's no guard. I have no guard up in that moment when I'm sitting by myself, meditating on this feeling, emotion, or thought, or something that I would not like to see happening or that I'm really afraid of. And sometimes I'll tear up, choke up, just going through that feeling of if it had happened to me and what comes afterwards. And one of the things that's really helped me with is realizing that when I come out of that thing, I'm still going to be all right. Not to keep, bashing on us guys, but we find a lot of our security and identity in the things that we can solve, and our strength, how we can be there for others or how we can support for people. And when those things are really stripped away, it's like everything's gone, you're gutted. And I've been in that situation a couple of times, and it's just like, when I lost my grandma, when I lost my dad, when we lost our first pregnancy, when my wife and we moved back to Hawaii after we got married in Germany, and I had all these plans, we freshly married, we're going to move back, honey, you're not going to have to get a job, I got this. You get back and you're splitting a $1 cheeseburger at McDonald's and trying to figure out how you're going to cover your rent in 10 days. And all those moments you just feel like, cool, like everything sheds, but then letting it wash over you like a wave. And my wife was actually one that taught me this. She's just like, it's okay to not be all right, and you're tough enough to cry. You're tough enough to be broken, you're tough enough to be hurt, you're tough enough to cry. And that was a really important healing thing, because you're sitting there, it's like, I'm gonna be honest with myself, I'm broke, I don't have anything, I don't have a solution, and that's fine because we're gonna figure it out. As opposed to turning on myself, like, Ron, why would you do that? Why would you not prepare? That choice you made didn't work. Kind of this whole internal thing that we do to ourselves, and it's like shedding that, letting go of that, figuring out that like who you are is enough, and that's fine. All this existential stuff, you're gonna figure it out, and holding on to that. So that's No, I mean, I know you asked me about one thing, but yeah, those are the things that I try to be aware of and try to implement in my own life personally.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad I asked. I'm glad you answered that way. It was a really eloquent way to put it. I like what you said about the tow truck. That happened.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, like if you,
Yeah,
put out
yeah.
Ron Artis merch, or if your next record is called that happened.
Yeah, dude.
I'd buy that T-shirt. I'd put that bumper sticker on.
Thanks,
things.
man. I actually am tempted to share with the new album what I want to call it. I got a team and they're all shopping different stuff, but I think I really believe that the album should be and is going to be called "We Are Not Machines."
Nice.
And it's right in that same wavelength. Like I don't know when it was, but we kind of bought into this thing that if we're not able to hold this consistent level of productivity, something's wrong with us. If you are able to hold that persistent level of creativity, something's wrong with you. Like every living thing in the world is allowed to have seasons, and we allow it to have seasons but us. Like if you really think about it, like some of the most healthy ecosystems in the world, because they have seasons. But us as people, we think like, oh, because you can operate at this level, you should be there 24/7.
Yeah, it feels like a failure when you're not able to maintain that,
and then
unless you just force yourself and burn out completely.
Exactly. And it's like then when we see someone who is holding that, it's like, oh, that's the thing, and then they break, and we're like, what happened? It's like, well, they were kind of forcing themselves or being forced by situations to be this unnatural state. We're living beings, man. Like even the mightiest oak trees got to shed their leaves now and then. So it's like being fair to yourself. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot, man. Thank you for sharing that message through your music and through your words as well. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you play second in this session. We got another brand new song coming up next.
Yeah, this one's called "Fell Out," and this is about relationships. And again, it's like we always talk about the beginning of love, end of love, but we skip over everything that happens in the middle of a relationship, and that's where the work happens. Accepting each other's differences, and when you first fall in love with someone, everything they do is perfect. All you see is the perfect in what they do. And then as you live together for a while, you're just like, bro. Like, yo. So this song is just about remembering to love through all that, man, because those things that made you fall in love with each other are worth it. Those things that annoy the heck out of you in the middle of a relationship are the things you're going to really miss when one of you pass on. So this song's called "Fell Out," and it's about not giving up on love.
She fuzzes with her hair, looking for her keys. She's headed to the door now. You wonder what's on her mind, but never thought to ask her before you ran out of time. Used to look each other deep in the eyes and ask, is everything alright? But life sped up, work slowed down, tensions rose. Now nothing feels like home once you fell out of love. Oh, don't you fall out of love. He cries alone to look stronger in her eyes, but she only wished a tear would fall so she could get a glimpse inside of his old heart, his big dreams. I know he looks good in a suit and tie, but there's a child crying out inside. But life sped up, work slowed down, tensions rose. Now nothing feels like home once you fall out of love. Don't you fall out of love, love. So don't you fall out of love. Don't you fall out of love, love. don't give up on us. So don't give up on us. Don't give up on us. Don't give up on us. Don't you fall out of love.